Alright everybody, Harvey Talks Prison here. If you're new and you like prison content, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. Here we go. I did a video last week about racism in prison. And I'll put a link to that in the description if you guys want to watch it. But I got a lot of comments on there and people asking different things. One of the things, one person said, the person that asked you this, was they talking about white racist or everybody? That's a good question. I just assumed they was talking about white racists, and so that's what I talked about mostly. So I'm going to cover others, and including the prison itself. You know, I've seen white guys get in trouble for something and just get a warning, or even if they do get a write-up, not go to the hole, and a black person get a write-up and they go straight to the hole. You know, so there is some type of biasness with some of the staff sometimes. But anyway, as far as black racists, if there were a lot of them, then I didn't know about it. But I will tell you about this one story that happened when I was at MSP, Missouri State Penitentiary. And this guy comes up to me, he was a black guy, and he goes, hey, you know, he goes, hey, I just want you to know it was a white judge that put me in prison. I said, well, we got a lot in common, because it was a white judge that put me in prison too. He goes, it was also a white prosecutor. So the same in my case. And he goes, so next thing you're going to tell me you had an all-white jury. I said, everybody was white. I'm from a small town. And so this other black guy came over to him and said, hey man, just stop that stuff. Anyway, the dude says, I don't like you because you're white. And how you feel about that? I said, well, I can't help it if you hate me. You know? He goes, I think you all are racist, and you guys steal our women. I said, look, I don't try to steal nobody's women, no matter what color they are. I said, that can be dangerous. And he goes on and on about these different things that, you know. And finally, the other black dude says, you say you hate him because he's white, but you got a white wife. And so them two started getting into it. Well, when they started arguing, I took the opportunity to just walk away and let them, you know, whatever happened. And I think they did end up fighting. But that guy was just full of hate, and I don't think it was just against white people. I think he just hated everything in general. You know what I mean? Hated being in prison. Well, none of us liked it. But I mean, you can not like being in prison, and you can just hate everything, you know, and blame everything for you being in prison. You know, when it's actually your own fault. I've also noticed that a lot of people that are turned out in prison are young white boys just coming to prison. I mean, I'm just keeping it real with you. And they're mostly turned out by black people. I don't know why that is. I don't know if they just prefer white boys, or if they don't want to do anything to their own people, or what, you know. But it seems like it's mostly blacks turning out than whites that I've seen. Then, when I was in Licking, I've seen many cases. Some of it's amusing, some of it's not so amusing. A little bit of a camera issue there. But I was telling you, some of it was amusing, some of it wasn't. Most of this happened when I was in other camps, not at MSP, and more specifically South Central Correctional Center. There was a like a medical. I told you I was getting ready to tell you about being in medical and being in a medical line. There's two black guys in front of me, and one of them turns to the other one and says, "Hey, watch how I play this." So he goes up there and he goes, "Hi, Miss Carrie." And she goes, "Hi." And after he gets his meds and everything, he turns to the other one and said, "See how I played that?" He goes, "Man, you didn't do nothing. You just said hi to her. You know, just because she said hi back doesn't mean she liked you." And then there was another time where this, and this happened more than once, but this one instance I remember in particular. I was in the hole, and the nurse came around and she gave me my meds for irritable bowel syndrome. They was giving me IBS. They was giving me Bentyl, otherwise known as dicyclomine at the time. But so she gave me my meds and she leaves, and I hear an event. "Hey, Harvey, come to the vent." You know, you got these vents that's up high above the toilet and stuff, up towards the ceiling. And so I get up there and I said, "Yeah, what's going on?" And he goes, "That nurse just went by." I said, "Yeah." He said, "She's a racist bee, you know." I said, what makes you think she's racist?" "Man, you know, I was thinking that she liked me, and so I started talking to her, and she shot me down, man. You know, if it'd been a white boy, she wouldn't have done that." And I said, "That's not true." I said, "It could be that she just didn't want to get involved, you know." No, all these women around here are racist." I'm not going to disagree with that, because there seemed like the whites at South Central Correctional Center, the white convicts got treated a little bit better, not much, but a little bit better than the blacks. They really didn't, a lot of them didn't like any of us, but still the whites seemed to get treated a little bit better. I remember this one guy, this guard, he never bothered nobody. And I don't know what happened, but one day he just started harassing this guy. I think I mentioned this in another video. And this guy was black. He just started harassing him, and I mean, shaking his cell down all the time. He had a problem with the guy. Now, I don't know if it was because he was black or because it was just something personal going on with him. But he just went on, and just finally this guy, he couldn't take it no more. So he waited until the guard was outside the housing unit. They just closed the window. The window is, at every hour, they give you a 10-minute window. That means you got 10 minutes to go inside or outside or wherever you wanted to go or needed to go. And after that window, they closed all the gates from the housing units to, you know. So he waited till the window was closed, and he came out. The guard had his back to the housing unit. He had a crock pot. We was allowed to get crock pots back then. That's no longer the case. And a laundry bag. And he swung it and he hit this guard in the back of the head. And the guard jumped right back up. And he had a patch mention on the back of his head, but he jumped right back up and started fist fighting the guy. I, to this day, do not know what was going on between those two. And a lot of blacks said it was a racial thing. Maybe it was. Me, I think it was more personal than anything. But guy did something or said something to him. I don't know. As far as other races being racist, I got along with the Mexicans. If they was racist, they never voiced it to me. I mean, if you don't like me, just come up and say, hey man, I don't like you. I don't care if you're going to tell me you don't like me because of my race or because of who I am or where I came from or whatever. If you don't like me, just tell me you don't like me. And I don't have a problem with it. But don't come up and smile in my face and then go back talking behind my back. Oh, I hate that white boy there, or I hate that dude there. Just just be honest about it, But there was these, but I never got that from any of the Mexicans, and I got along with them, and they, I never had no problems with them, I joke with them once in a while, Didn't so much as hang out with them or eat with them or anything, but, in the wing, sometimes you'd mingle, and I'd laugh and joke with them. But, there was these 3 Mexicans not Mexicans, sorry, Vietnamese. One of them was half Vietnamese and half American. The other one was fully Vietnamese. Those 2 spoke English real well. The third one, he didn't speak English too well. You could hardly make out what he was saying. And he played Vietnamese music on this cassette stereo, real loud. He'd open the doors and it'd be real loud. Drove everybody nuts. But he tells me one day, hey, Americans are soft. And I said, oh yeah? He goes, yeah, Vietnam, little bitty country. If the United States was as small as Vietnam, or Vietnam was as big as America, we would have won. And I said, well, I don't know about that. I can't say one way or another. Yeah, Americans are soft. Well, as he's saying this, other people are hearing this. And they started coming up, and they had a problem with what he was saying. And these other 2 Vietnamese guys, they came up and they said, hey man, he doesn't mean it. And they said, well, he sounds like he means it. And they said, well, just let that go, man. He's just talking, Anyway, he was about to get whooped over that, and it wasn't just whites that was about to whoop him. There was a couple of blacks that was about to whoop him too. So I hope that answers the question about other racists in prison. This is just my own experience of what I've experienced. It doesn't mean it's true everywhere. I know in other states the prisons are separated on by race, the yard and everything. And somebody mentioned that, and I knew that, and I'm sure most of you guys know that too. But that's all I got for you today. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.